Good morning, everyone. We're going to get started, or good afternoon, I should say. We're going to get started here in just a few minutes as we get everyone joining. Hope everyone's having an amazing day today. You'll see some housekeeping items up on the slide, so just take a look at those as you come in, and we will get started. We're super excited to have everyone here today, and especially our special guest for our TAMS talk. Just another minute or two. And again, welcome to everyone that's joining. We're going to get started here in just a minute. I see our numbers are slowly creeping up there from an attendee perspective. I know how hard it is to go from one meeting to the next, so I always want to give people a little extra minute or two to join. All right, so welcome everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. We've got a good audience, and we'll welcome everyone that comes in as we move forward. So first off, let me start by saying welcome to our TAMS, aka Travel and Meeting Society, first founding partners webinar, or not webinar, TAMS talks, what we're calling them. We've had other TAMS talks with different committee work that we have, but this is a special because this is our TAMS talk with our first founding partner. And some of you might be wondering, what's a founding partner? How can I be a founding partner? So founding partners are industry suppliers that sponsor and support the work and the activity of TAMS society as a whole, but also as our individual committees and different work that they're doing. And so today we are super excited to have Erik Mueller, the president and CEO of Grasp Technologies, to join us for our first founding partners TAM talk. So as a reminder, there is some housekeeping items rules up on the slides. We're all muted and cameras are off. We're not going to have chat or Q&A today because this is really just a fun conversation between Erik and I, and the session is being recorded, and we will post it on the website and share the recording with our attendees. So with no further ado, I would like to welcome Erik Mueller. He is the founder and CEO, there he is, of Grasp Technologies. So Erik, it's great to have you here today. First of all, can I give you a big high five?
High five.
High five. Oh, that way? Oh no, maybe this way. No, no. Oh wait. Did you get it?
No,
right.
yeah, I think it's totally backwards.
All right. Well, it was to you, but it looks good to me. Anyway, so Erik, thanks for coming. We really appreciate having you here today. We're super excited. We wanted to make this casual conversation, really just talk about things that are happening in the industry. Talk a little bit about Grasp and what you guys have going on, and just share for the folks kind of where we are in the world, right? Things have been crazy the last couple of years and stuff. And out of just a little bit. And out of the last couple of years, the craziest thing to happen was the creation and invention of TAMS. So for those of you that aren't familiar, TAMS is a travel and meeting society. You can find out more information on tamstravel.org. But we are really a grassroots initiative that kind of stemmed out of COVID. We put out some general standards for cleanliness and education and traveler stuff way back in June of 2020, I believe. And here we are today, right? We are a society, a nonprofit, 501c3, 12 active committees covering a lot of different industry topics. And so if you're interested in finding out more about TAMS, feel free to reach out to us at info@tamstravel.org or on the tamstravel.org website. So Erik, you've been involved with TAMS from the very beginning, so we thank you for that. And so I just want to kind of, first of all, let's just chat about what the heck has gone on in the last 2 years. And the fact that we're finally starting to see things rebound, right? The industry's coming back. We're starting to feel maybe post-pandemic, but every day that seems different too. Like I thought in June of 2020 we'd be post-pandemic, right? So who am I to judge, right? But anyway, so tell me, how did Grasp fare through it all? How are you guys feeling? Like as an industry supplier, you deal in data, you see transaction numbers coming through. I think I saw a social media post, you had 5 million transactions in a month or something like that. But just kind of share with the group, like, how's Erik feeling?
I feel revitalized. It's been a long road for all of us. The numbers for March, I think we're going to break 6 million. That's up, I think 56% from this time last year. And to give you some perspective, we only did 500,000 transactions during the onset of the pandemic. So when everything went poo-poo, yep. Yeah, it went to like nothing. So but this is a really great strong indicator that we're back. It's been a heartbreaking couple of years. The struggle within our industry, and being in business for 20 years, you've made so many good friends and stuff, and just to see everybody have to sit around and wait, and none of us had any control. We couldn't influence it. It's not like you could sell more. There's nothing you could do except just sit and wait. And for somebody like me, that's a little, makes you crazy.
I can't imagine you just sitting back and waiting for anything. Because you're the one that you're usually the one that's making it happen, whether it's fun, work, whatever. So, Erik, a lot of us, the buyers, suppliers alike, kind of took that time in the last couple of years to do either reinvent products or do new things or relook at policy or suppliers or whatever. Did you guys do that? Were you guys kind of involved in saying, hey, if it's a little bit slower and we can take a look?
Yeah.
Things happening?
Once you get used to the fact that you don't have any control over the bigger situation, and you're like, okay, what can I control? So we decided to focus on core business, fix things that were broken, and look at the things that we were doing really well and do more of that. So it gave us an opportunity to get involved with groups like TAMS. We had a lot of things on our roadmap we were able to get caught up on. The thing is right. Things have been great, leading up to this. It was like a rocket ship. And the things you want to do for yourself, that's personally and professionally. We just never took any time for ourselves. So it kind of gave us a breather, and we got to regroup, clear out a lot of cobwebs, do some spring cleaning, new initiatives and things like that. So it's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stay on the business side of things, and then we're going to get to the personal stuff after that, because why wouldn't we talk about personal stuff? So you and I have known each other a long time. I don't know.
Too long.
It's never too long to know me. What are you talking about? Anyway, we've been through a lot together. I mean, we've had so much fun over the years, and we worked on projects together, and Grasp has been a part of my program probably my entire career from a buyer side of things in some form or fashion, right? But you started as what I would call a tech startup before tech startup was cool, right? So now if you're a travel industry tech startup, you're like, oh, where's all the money? Let me get all that private equity money, that VC money, that angel funding, all of that. And that's how I'm going to run my business. You didn't have any of that. You just had Erik, a corporate credit card, and a dream, right?
A lot of corporate credit cards.
And a dream. But so tell me about that journey, right? Because we see startups come and go. You didn't have any of that funding. You just literally planted your little seeds, and here you are today. So what was the key to your success as a tech company in the industry without Series A, Series B funding?
Yeah, it might have been a blessing. I was just about to raise funding when 9/11 happened. So, but the investors got scared. So, that never happened. So we just bootstrapped it. I had another company I leveraged its success. It was a managed IT company. So as it was growing, we helped use it to fund Grasp. Even today, though, we still feel like a scrappy startup, a focus on hiring for any business is key. If you can get that right, everything else just falls into place. People first, product second, that's really the secret. You know, and the customer relationships, we prefer to grow with our partners versus always chasing, the next new thing or whatever. I always laugh when I see headlines, Acme company raises $25 million, and a mentor of mine that worked for a large expense company told me that after his first funding round, his sole focus was just the next funding round, because he had to raise funds to grow to pay for the first round, or at least to satisfy those investors' expectations. And then you've got two rounds that you have to meet expectations. So you have to go out again. And he's like, I stopped working on my business and all I did was work on, financing, capital raising. And he's like, yeah, just stop being fun. So, and then you see that, and so many have gone by the wayside in the past few years. You've seen people, these ones, they're the next great thing. And then 6 months and COVID kind of cleaned the decks, I think too. I mean, it really put a lot of pressure on the industry, and people that didn't have a good business model, are no longer here. So, and it's unfortunate because, a lot of smart people were left in the wind, but it's been good because a number of them ended up on my payroll. So
I was just going to say that. So maybe that's a good opportunity for you to pick up some of those really smart ones and kind of drive the industry forward. So that's awesome. Yeah, it's been interesting to see, startups come and go. And I just know that, your situation was so different. So thanks for sharing that insight. And there's nothing wrong with using a MasterCard to pay Visa and Visa to pay MasterCard over time, right?
But we've gotten to the point now where, and especially we had just really, after 20 years, the December before the pandemic, we had paid off the last of our debt. So we were going into the pandemic sitting on cash and zero debt. I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, that person must be really smart. A lot of it's just luck and timing, being prepared, but a lot of times it just things just happen in the right order and not anything that you ever really did. So it just worked out that way.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with your positive energy and your passion, right? So if you don't have that passion for the industry and for what you're trying to deliver, it's easy to lose sight of that. So I think the industry as a whole is grateful that we have a great partner like Grasp, and TAMS is really grateful that we have a great partner like Grasp. So Erik, let's get to some personal stuff. You've been traveling a lot.
Oh yeah.
I've seen your masked up face on social media all over the place. You made a commitment to travel as things started to come back. So tell me a little bit about two parts. A, why you made this commitment to travel. B, what your experience has been like. And C, how excited are you for April 18th when the mask mandate might actually go away? So I'll let you answer all those all wrapped up into one.
Oh, great. As soon as things started loosening up a little bit, I've got family members kind of high risk, so I've been really careful through the pandemic, and luckily didn't ever get it that I'm aware of, at least. So, but did all the things we were supposed to do, and once things started coming back, I know flying on an airplane's safe, and we're in this industry. I mean, if we don't get out and do it, who is? And somebody's got to lead the way. So yeah, I think last year I set a goal of 12 trips in the year, which, it didn't seem very aggressive, but it felt like a good pace just to feel things through. And then this year, right out of the gate, I did 6 trips in 3 weeks. So it was like, go, go, go. And, you just do what you got to do. I flew a lot. I mean, I had so many points, from those corporate credit cards. I pretty much got to travel for free. So I've never flown first class in my whole career, but a lot of my trips were first class, just bought with points. So I had a little more breathing room. So no pun intended, pun intended. And and I just planned for things. That was it. Wore a mask. The thing that drove me crazy though was every state that I landed in, I never knew what the rules were going to be. I mean, I guess I could have probably researched it, but that's not really my style. So,
Right.
and so I show up with a mask on, and after a while, you figure out who does and who doesn't, and typically I'd err on the side of caution. It was better to look like a fool, and I don't even feel foolish wearing one anymore. So I don't mind being a bandit. So uh, do that. The other thing that frustrated me is you land somewhere and then the hotels wouldn't have room service and the restaurants wouldn't be open in the area. There were many trips where if I didn't have a few kind bars, or they have like, you can buy a Pop-Tarts and something from a little shelf in the lobby. And so I was one trip, I pretty much for 24 hours, I was living off of the like snack bars and things like that because I couldn't get real food anywhere. It was
Yeah, that's
horrible.
crazy. I think that's a really good point because our travelers are experiencing this, right? And I think the challenge that we're facing is that prices are going up, right? We see the airfares going crazy, hotel things
Oh,
are going crazy.
cars are the worst. Cars
And
are like
cars, well,
impossible.
if you can get a car, God bless you, you're lucky. But at least a car doesn't require food. But when you're traveling, even long distances and stuff, and it's hard to get food, or there's no restaurants open, and you're paying the same prices that you were paying, even more maybe than what you were paying before the pandemic, and you're getting a lot less services. I think that's going to be a challenge for a recovery of the industry. Is I, as a buyer, I'm expecting a level of service for my travelers that I'm paying for, and a lot of those amenities aren't there. And staffing is a problem. But have you seen any like crazy people on planes? Like crazy
No, thank
mask?
God. No, because I'm not one to just sit by and
Right.
in
I can
situations
imagine.
like that. So thank goodness, because who knows what would have happened. Yeah, and I think people should just behave themselves. I mean, yeah, you need to be respectful when you're out in society. If people just need
That's an interesting concept
yeah, just need to take a
nowadays.
breath before they do. I mean, I'm all about spontaneity and stuff like that, but not when you're infringing on somebody else's rights or invading somebody else's space. And when it comes to a physical conflict or whatever, in any situation, it's never called for unless you're defending yourself or someone else. So
Right, exactly. I know people have lost their mind. I think people are just frustrated. I think it's gotten better now, but I think we thought it was going to be 6 weeks, 12 weeks, so many weeks to whatever we heard. It just lingered on and on and on. So it's good to see the recovery, and it's good to see someone like you supporting the industry. But you're right, in order to say we need to get back to business, we as companies and buyers and suppliers alike need to get back on the road and stuff. So thank you for your contribution there.
yeah, and just one other thing on that note too is this has been it's caused a real shift in everyone. And we are all, if people find themselves anxious all the time and things like that, they should really seek out talking to somebody, even if it's a friend, family, something like that, and just be open about what you're going through and what you're struggling with. Get that out of your head so you can get on with your life, because I find it difficult even to get out and do normal activities. I'm somebody that was out every night, doing this, doing that. And I find it hard to get out and do things and even just go out for a walk and stuff like that. Those things, or talking to a mental health professional or something like that. This has kicked everybody in the butt, and you don't have to live that way. So
Yeah, no, that's good advice. Thank you. So we've got about 10 minutes left, and I really want to talk about you in your organization and the great support of TAMS that you've had. So you've been a big supporter from the very beginning. I know you were on one of our committees for a while, and then I sort of approached you with our founding partner initiative, and to really help us grow and stuff. And so I would like to know from you, why? What attracted you to TAMS? um, you know, what, not just you, like you personally, but also as an organization, right? So talk to me a little bit about the why TAMS?
Well, first of all, the original mission of TAMS, and I had talked to Susan early on before it was founded, and we talked about the challenges in the industry and the lack of standards. So it was originally travel and meeting standards.
Yeah.
And I really liked that concept because it's something we've always really pushed for. Is the lack of standards is what's holding this industry back. So that attracted me a lot right from the get-go. And then once I got involved, it's like, there's a lot of smart people that are participating, trying to solve and asking tough questions about not assuming that things are going to be the way that they're always going to be. People really lifting the hood and trying to break things. Hey, what if we did it differently? What does that look like? What are the challenges around making a shift or a change? And that really was encouraging to me. And it was and I use this term loosely, but a younger mindset. Just, hey, you know what? We can look at things differently. We can do things differently. And they seem to be pushing the envelope as far as new ideas, new concepts, new approaches. And then, really the pandemic was in full force. And it was like, wow, everything's changed. Now might be the time to really get some things done. And I've seen a lot of progress, and yeah, just the interactions, and the people are on with other organizations and stuff like that. I mean, it's such an open platform. It's almost like an open source community. So everybody's in, they're freely speaking about their ideas. There's so much transparency. It's great. It gives you a new forum, a new way of being able to express ideas that might not be taken seriously. So
yeah, that's great. No, and I think we really focus on that we've always had, we did start as the standards, but we always had this, and we still do today, as our mission and vision is really every voice mattering, right? So whether you're a buyer or a supplier, your voice is equally heard. Whether you're employed or unemployed, your voice is equally heard. And there are a lot of people that just have a lot of really great ideas. You and I have collaborated over the years about
oh my God, yeah,
everything, right? I mean, it's like, oh, what do you think about that idea? What do you think about this idea? Some have come to fruition, some have
we've
not.
had so many bad ideas.
We've had so many bad ideas, but every once in a while out sprung a good idea. Yeah. And I don't know what you're talking about. A lot of those bad ideas might have.
I'm talking business. I'm still talking business.
That's right. But no, seriously, we just really feel like it's important to keep that I don't know, that organic grassroots kind of work. But you also, from a company perspective, not just your personal, you also, are invested, right, in TAMS and stuff. And what do you hope as an organization to get out of TAMS?
Well, as we're successful, we have an obligation to get back to the community. TAMS, I don't honestly even know, but I think it's still free. So, I mean, and I from running companies, I understand that, it takes capital to grow. It takes things to make things happen. So if that's a little something that we can do, then, I mean, that's nothing compared to, other things. I just think there's a lot of opportunity for this to grow and be really beneficial to maybe, be able to take a big leap now. And I think we really need to do that. We need to really question our reality and try and work on something really new and really set some, I'll get aligned as far as how we're all going to communicate together. I'm all about openness, transparency, integration, collaboration versus competition. Competition kills innovation.
Yep.
So
I love your open source. That was a great analogy there, because it is how we're like, that is what we're about. And we want to share and give back to the community. So thank you for your support. That's super important. And we welcome anyone else on this webinar that wants to become a founding partner. There's still spots left. So we would welcome that. All right, so we just got a couple minutes. I am going to ask you a question. You have no idea what it's going to be.
Is it going to be in Family Feud style?
No, not Family Feud style. Let's see. If you had the chance to sit down today with someone that is alive today, across the table from them, that would make the biggest impact in the world, what would you do? Who would it be?
Holy crap.
Big question, told you.
Yeah. It would have been nice to have that ahead of time, because now I can just sit here for 3 minutes thinking about so many people.
They have to be alive.
I could answer the silly question. It's silly, or I could answer it straight. I mean, I've only got a few people that I want to meet. I mean, there's a ton of smart people and stuff like that, but I don't want to meet my heroes, really, because
Interesting.
yeah, I'm sure it's going to be a huge disappointment, but I love musicians. In my history is, I come from a music background, playing professionally and stuff before technology, and I would say Elvis Costello. I'd love to sit down and have a conversation with him. I think he'd be kind of a cool dude. And again, it would probably blow it for me. Tom Waits is another one. That would be hilarious, but I'm sure I would leave like completely, or he'd just be a total. I'm trying to keep it clean, and it's really hard.
Yeah, we got to keep it clean. It's hard for you and I when we get talking together. I know, I get it. No, that's interesting. That's really interesting. No, that's awesome. It's nice to see like what makes people tick inside their heads. You know what I mean? Like, who would be those people? And I wanted to stick with people that were alive.
Yeah, and you look at, and the reason I picked them is, I like them because the way that they structure their lyrics, and the thought, and the intimacy of it. Yeah, it's just great, because it's obvious. It's not just words written on a page. There's a lot going on between the words, which is what inspires me with them. So.
And I would guess some of that translated into your passion and inspiration for what you're doing today.
Oh yeah.
From the music background.
Yeah, it's hard. I like hard work. I like things that are difficult and that you have to pull out of yourself, that you can't get off. I like things you can't get off the shelf, I like getting my hands dirty. I like things that are kind of contradictory. Like if all the technology would go away tomorrow, I would still, there's always ways to create, and I like creating things. So, you give me a couple of paper Dixie cups and some crayons or whatever, and I'm just as happy as, having an Xbox or whatever. So
there you go. I love it. We could call each other on our cam phones.
See, look at that technology.
There you go. It started somewhere. So Erik,
it started there.
If it wasn't for Tesla and all these other people, we're not Tesla, this Tesla, Nikola Tesla, where would we be, right?
Oh yeah.
Anyway, Erik, this has been just fun. That's what these calls are meant to be, just fun. Let's have a good time. Let's get to know each other better. Let's get to know our founding partners better. You've made a huge impact on the industry. I appreciate all of your innovation, all of your commitment to the industry, to TAMS, but most importantly, your friendship. It's been amazing getting to work with you over all these years. If you don't know Erik personally, it's easy to find him, and just call him on your cam phone. But no, he's out there. He's socially out at convention. Walk up, you can't miss him. He's the tall, bald guy with 2 earrings, and he's always dressed phenomenally, thanks to his wife Michelle, who buys him the most beautiful ties. Anyway, but no, this has been a fantastic time. I want to thank you, Erik, for your support. Thanks for meeting with us today. Thanks for all of our attendees. Have a fantastic day, and we will see you at the next TAMS Talk with our next founding partner. Take care. Bye. Bye.